What's going on, Eastwood? And welcome back to Eastwood TV. I'm your host, Mr. Ramsey, and my co-host.
It's Lena.
And we're here with episode 5 of our SEL lessons. So let's get into it.
Well, like always, my friends, make sure your ears are listening, your eyes are watching, your voices are quiet, and your body is still.
Make sure that you're concentrating with all your might. Use your eyes, ears, and brain, and always try to ignore those distractions.
Of course. So before we get into it, Mr. Ramsey, I think we have to do some review.
Oh, what do we need? Well, first off, I see our big 3 on the wall. So let's say it: be responsible, be respectful, and be safe. Always love those big 3 rules here at Eastwood.
Okay. So as we mentioned before, I'm sure you've seen this slide, right, Mr. Ramsey?
Mm-hmm.
We all have a feelings factory filled with all kinds of emotions. And sometimes we have complex or strong feelings. Some of these feelings may be uncomfortable. We told you that it's okay to have strong feelings, and sometimes these feelings make your brain hard. It makes it hard for your brain to think. So we went over different strategies to help those emotions. But most importantly, we emphasized on when you find yourself in a situation with one of these strong emotions, you have to calm down.
Gotta calm down. Gotta calm down. So, but do you remember how to calm down? Look at this chart. I can do it. Might need to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop. Use your signals. Then name your feelings. And then calm down by breathing, counting, or using positive self-talk. But what happens next? After we use our signals, after we name our feelings and take deep breaths to calm down, what happens next?
You're right. So remember our friend Austin?
Yeah, I remember Austin. He was reaching for a book about rockets, but another boy came and took it first, and then he wouldn't share it.
Right. So afterwards, I'm sure Austin was able to use the strategies that you just talked about and he was able to calm down. So great job, Austin. Way to go.
Yeah.
But Mr. Ramsey, when you have a feeling like anger and you do calm down, what happens next? Does Austin just get stuck without a book?
No, see, that just wouldn't be fair. He still has a problem that needs to be solved. But like Austin, in order to solve a problem, you have to calm down in order to think. That leads us into today's topic, which is solving problems. Let's give it up for solving problems. We all have had problems that can be hard to solve sometimes. Raise your hand if you had a problem. Today, we're going to go over problem solving steps to help us remember what to do when a problem does occur. Like we just went over, calming down strong feelings before you start to solve the problem is definitely going to help you think more clearly. Being a successful problem solver means you're using your brain to solve problems instead of just reacting. I know as Eagles of Eastwood, we can be not only safe, respectful, and responsible, but we can be problem solvers too.
So here's the first 2 steps. So when you have a problem, these are the steps that you can use to help solve it. These are the second step problem solving steps that can help you to solve these problems. So today we're going to go over the first 2, right? So the first one is S, say the problem. And the second step is T, think of solutions.
T. Okay. S and T. S. Say the problem. It's important to say the problem in a way that does not blame. You may be asking yourself, what does that mean? So let us explain.
So here we go. Blame is placing responsibility for a mistake or something bad that happened on someone else. So if you blame a person for something bad that happened, that means you believe that they are the only ones responsible or that they were the ones who caused it. So some example of blaming words are never and always.
Yeah, I don't like those words either. Never, always, because I'm never always doing something to someone else, and someone is not always doing it to me. Those words are things I try not to say. You know what? We have a special guest to give us an example, Miss H. She's one of our supervision aides here at Eastwood. She is a tremendous helper on the playground and in the classrooms as well. Sometimes I'm sure she's heard of students blaming each other. So, Miss H, whether it's over a game, spilled lunches, or someone actually getting hurt, can you share some examples based on your experience here at Eastwood?
Yes, Mr. Ramsey, I do have an example. One time, I have two students, Ryan and Matthew, arguing about who gets the slide first. Ryan said to Matthew, never lets anyone go first. Matthew said, Ryan is always passing people around and he never shares.
Wow, Mr. Ramsey, I heard a lot of blaming words in there.
I
Some
did
of the
too.
ones we just highlighted, right? Never and always.
Never and always. I heard it a couple times.
And you know what? There were some blaming statements too that I think we should cover.
Yeah, blaming statements. And look at the picture. They normally begin with this because of you. You're always you. See, there's a lot of you finger pointing going on when we have blaming statements. And you know what? This type of language is not respectful and can make others feel very angry. And we all know it's hard to solve problems when we are angry. Remember, guys, we're going over how to solve problems and the appropriate steps we have to take to come up with a safe, respectful, and responsible solution. Step one is say the problem. So, how can we explain what the problem is without blaming anyone? I think we need some practice.
You're right, Mr. Ramsey. So we have another special guest, Miss Lindsay, who is also one of our supervision aides here at Eastwood. She's a tremendous helper, just like Miss H. And I think she's going to help us come up with some non-blaming statements so we can say the problem without blame.
All right, let's check it out.
I had a situation where two students were arguing over a ball. One said that the other stole the ball, and the other says they were supposed to have the ball. Instead of blaming each other, they can simply come to me and say, we both want to play with the ball.
That sounds like a good solution.
Right.
Instead of blaming, go get some help. I think that would work out pretty good on the playground here at school.
Absolutely. And they came up with she was able to tell them, hey, come and tell me the problem without blaming each other. I think that was a big step. Yeah.
All right. That was great. Thank you, Miss Lindsay, for helping us say our problem without blame. Now, the next step is T. Think of safe and respectful solutions. That means come up with lots of ideas to solve the problem. And you know what? When you're thinking about a solution, it's not always just one. There's sometimes many solutions we can come to if we think about them before we react.
You're right. So when you're coming up with these solutions, like you said, make sure they're safe and respectful. Safe means that no one's bodies or feelings are getting hurt. And respectful solutions are the ones that are kind and always consider the other person's feelings. So let's practice thinking of solutions for a problem that my friends Henry and Jake has. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
So it's pretty obvious what the problem is, right, Mr. Ramsey?
Yeah, they both want that swing.
Absolutely. So here are Jake and Henry. Jake thinks that Henry is hogging the swing, but Henry got there first. They both look pretty upset and irritated with each other. Once they calm down, though, they both are able to say the problem without blame.
Yeah, I'm just looking at their faces. If they were to say anything right now, I'm sure it would be blame, blame, blame.
Absolutely.
So
I think so.
First, before they try to open their mouths and talk about it.
So here's the problem that they were able to state without blaming each other.
So, problem. Henry and Jake both want to use the swings, but only one person is allowed at a time. Safe and respectful solutions. Check one. Henry can let Jake finish his turn and then get on. Maybe two. Jake could take a break from the swing and let others have a turn. Henry could play something else, or they can Rochambeau. And those sounds like very good solutions without anyone getting hurt. And they sound respectful and responsible as well. So this time is always for my final thoughts. My Eagles of Eastwood, today you learned and practiced only 2 of the steps needed to solve a problem. In our next episode, we will cover the rest. Remember, strong feelings make it hard to think clearly sometimes. So when you have a problem you want to solve, make sure you are calm first. In the end, I know you all can be excellent problem solvers. These steps will help you find solutions that are safe, respectful, and responsible. In addition, They will help you stay out of trouble, get along better with others, and even do better in school. I guarantee it. So we thank you for tuning in on this episode. Make sure you check out part 2 because you need the other parts to make sure that you become the problem solvers that we all know you're capable of being. I'm your host, Mr. Ramsey, and my co-host,
Miss Lena.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.